we've got an update. So far, we've built out a lot of the features that we originally planned for, and some stuff still to go, but I'll walk you through what we've got so far. So the large mountain-ish type thing over here, or relatively large, right? Kind of small. Ended up using a planter pot and flipping it upside down and then stacking some dirt up against it. And not quite sure how this is all going to work out just yet. Kind of playing with it as I go here. But the end state is to hopefully have something that a car can drive up that way or along this side. And then the entry point to that, outside of those 2 points there, is also this kind of like step laddery looking brick thing over here. So my hope is that you have a path where it comes up here. You have to do this really tight turn to get up on top of this. And I need to figure out that pot there because it has zero grip and it's pretty hard for the cars to stick to. So might need to find something, I don't know, a bit more jagged for them to crawl up on. But then you come down here and you've got 2 paths on this point. You can either cruise across this log, you can go down, or you go down the tunnel here. And then another option is to also go up and over this bridge that's made out of, it's like a, not quite a cinder block, I'm not sure what they're called. Little half moon rounds, cinder blocks, who knows. Anyways, stacked 2 of those together, get this bridge looking thing, which works pretty well in terms of width for a 24th scale car. So you can see the AX24 sits on there quite nicely. And I mean, even the TRX4M and the CR18P fit on there pretty well. I mean, they get a little tight, but reasonably well enough. But there's this little tunnel down here that they can cruise through. I've got some roots that I need to clear out still. And then all of this loose dirt here is actually causing a problem just in terms of grip coming up and out of there. So I got to kind of think through how I want to make that a challenging piece of terrain to get through, but also not something where the cars just spin their wheels endlessly. So yeah, moving along. Got this stack of bricks here, which makes for a kind of a cool test of how well tires stick. And this surface here is actually pretty solid for gripping against. And what I like about this is I have the option to kind of adjust it a little bit. So if I want to make it more technical or I guess challenging, I can adjust the angle of these slightly and either shift them kind of this way so they're a bit steeper or out more depending on what I want to do. So I got some options there. Then use some firewood to create a stack over there. Not in love with this in any way at all, but kind of tinkering with this still to figure out what the right combination is. So it's challenging and interesting, but it's a slightly different terrain type, so I'm liking that. And then the last piece is this kind of collection of rocks over here, which I don't know, it'll work. All right, so there's a AX24 just for some scale to see like what this looks like. It's decently steep in certain areas, and like the fact that the rocks don't always connect quite nicely makes for an interesting set of terrain. I think the placement is mediocre at best right now. It certainly isn't easy for this thing to crawl on, and there's no clear lines, which I'm not entirely certain that's the end state that I'm looking for, but I don't know, it'd be nice to have some like very like obvious lines that are challenging but straightforward in the sense that like you know where to go. But right now it's just kind of a free-for-all. I'm trying to climb on this thing, which is interesting but not what I'm looking for. So anyways, that's the update. Not sure what that rock is doing there, and I got to figure out how to pack down all this dirt, which I might just spray it with water and kind of pat it down to help create some like clear paths amongst this big old pot, or not pot, whatever, vegetable box. And then other things to come is cleaning up this right here to create like more of a, instead of it just being like a drop off, although it is kind of interesting that this is a pretty vertical face and it could make a cool challenge. And then I want to have some sort of a, I don't know, stick ladder or something made out of these little pieces over here that I'm cutting up in the yard to create something of like a bridge, like a log bridge almost. And I'm thinking it will go from up here perhaps, and then like out and then drop you down here somewhere. But that's all very much TBD. So that's the update we've got so far. It's a fun little course to play on. What I like about this is that I can kind of tinker with it as I'm setting it up and figure out what I like and don't like. And it's all relatively modular at this point, with the exception of like that stuff over there. Don't mind the hanging saw. I mean, this stuff is all pretty set in stone, dirt, whereas all of this is relatively modular. So this could all change. If you got any ideas for what I should do or could do here, let me know, because this is very much a work in progress, but excited for it. Today we're gonna add a bridge that goes from here to there. And we're gonna do it with these sticks and that stick there. We've got these massive redwood trees in the backyard, but some of the branches, like this one right here, are dying. The thinner sticks have been cut down to size, and I'll use these as the top of the bridge. And the bigger pieces I've cut down to turn into the base of this bridge. So from over there, that post, to the top of this mountain looking thing here, we'll have a nice bridge, hopefully. So step one, we gotta mount all of those onto there. Step two, we'll be somehow mounting this into place, but worry about step one first. All right, one down. And that one. All right, we've got the start of the bridge set up here. Got a ways to go, but this is the plan. We'll have it run all the way across and then drop down. All right, we've got most of the bridge installed. Still a little bit more work to go there. That'll come in part 3 of the video. Got some leftover pieces there that we can finish it up with. It's looking okay. There's some pieces that are a bit loose, and this one in particular, I'm not entirely sure if that mount is the greatest, but that's sitting over there nicely, and everything else is still the same for right now, but it's coming together. Stay tuned for part 3 and we'll get this thing into better shape.